Okay, so now it's time for our featured speaker, and we have a tradition here at the GNA, and that tradition is that we send our featured speaker all the way to the back. So Gary McKinsey, you got to hit all the way to the back.
There. All
the way
right.
there. You know why we do that, Gary?
Why?
Because we want you to make that grand entrance, right?
Get us all charged up and excited.
Get you all fired up and psyched up, right?
Right.
Okay, so let me just grab my phone here, and that way I'll be able to introduce Gary. So I want to mention a brief story on how I actually met Gary. I met Gary McKinsey for the first time in the Bay Area when we used to be involved with successful thinkers out there at a Foster City event. He was asked to come out speak there all the way from Modesto. What I really liked about Gary, he's a really nice, down-to-earth, just laid-back type of guy. Very smart guy, very humble, very sweet guy, and we resonated our personalities very, very well. And that's why we ended up asking him to speak here at the GNA today. And Gary today is here to talk to us about how to find the answer to the question, why should people buy from you? And I'm going to read here, it's pretty lengthy, but I'm going to try to get through it in a couple of minutes. I want to read to you a little bit about, Gary's life. This timeline is incredible, and I want to read it to you so you get a better idea of who he is. Okay, so Gary is a CPA enrolled agent, income tax preparation, and business advisement. And he has been engaged in income tax preparation and business advisement for over 30 years. He graduated from California State University Stanislaus with a bachelor's degree and has taken advanced classes to Golden Gate University. He is a graduate fellow of the National Tax Practice Institute. From 1973 to 1994, he owned and operated Gary McKinsey & Company, specializing in tax preparation and small business advisement. In 1994, he merged his practice with Gimbleby. Is that Gimbleby, Gary?
Grimbleby.
Grimbleby, I apologize. Grimbleby Coleman CPAs. As a principal in the company, he specialized in small business tax, estate planning, and business succession planning, and represented clients before the Internal Revenue Service through December 2009. That's pretty interesting there, Gary. That's some interesting work. And in 1995, Gary was appointed to the White House Conference on Small Business and continues to this day in that capacity as the Associate Tax Chair for California. He also serves on the Small Business Tax Advisory Council of the U.S. Chamber of Commerce. He chairs the Northern California Leadership Council of the National Federation of Independent Business, NFIB. NFIB is recognized as one of the most effective small business lobbying organizations in Washington, D.C. In 2007, he received a designation as an accredited retirement advisor from the National Society of Accountants. In 2008, Governor Schwarzenegger appointed Gary to chair the tax committee for the Governor's Small Business and Entrepreneur Conference. Wow, that's very, very interesting there. After chairing the Governor's Conference, he realized he needed to add marketing and public speaking to his consulting and coaching toolkit. In 2008, he earned the Guerrilla Marketing Certification. In 2009, he earned designation as a certified public speaking coach. In 2010, he launched a new business focused on working with business owners and entrepreneurs, designed and activate their plans to accelerate their business growth and achievement. Gary frequently speaks and presents workshops on how to increase your business and your influence through personal networking. I have to ask, Gary's done a lot, right? And do you think that's a main reason why Gary's very successful at what he does? That's why I wanted to mention the timeline on Gary. Gary gave me a little brief description there, but I said, you know what, I'm going to read the whole thing because I'm going to show people that if you make a little effort and you put yourself out there and you get involved with lots of things and lots of organizations, this is what happened. So, without further ado, I'd like to please stand up and rise to your feet. Please stand up and rise to your feet and give a big warm GNA welcome to Gary McKinsey! Thank you, Gary! Woo! Thank you so much.
Great introduction.
It's all yours. Thank you.
Okay. Why should people do business with you? This is a question that's asked and you need that answer. And T-Bird, you need that answer whether you live in Tracy and come from the California Central Valley, or Elias, whether you're from the Bay Area or any other metropolitan area. Why should people do business with you? In my classes that I present at community college, I like to take out my wallet and say, why should I give you my credit card? Why should I spend my money with you? And today, we'll spend some time. In fact, about 27 minutes from now, you'll be armed with some tools that will help you answer that very question. Why should people do business with you? This could be a little bit like a workshop. T-Bird, can I get you to pass these around, please? Thank you. And this is going to be useful. Useful whether you're meeting people in person, writing copy, or, as I just mentioned, we're going to be doing programs here through GNA on how to use Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, but how to use it effectively. Jerry, how to use it effectively is going to depend on the wording you use. Because you have to know who is your audience. Who are you talking to? These are the people that are going to be prepared to write you a check at some point in time. The handout, in fact, let's just go, the first 2 pages are just introduction. Page 1 is the handout though. We have the handout, page 1. And then, page 2, however, you know, if you're counting, it's going to look like page 4, is a promise sheet. Towards the end of my presentation, I'll describe what you're going to be doing with this promise sheet. You're all in business. If you're in business, ideally to earn income, you have to pay your bills. You'll come here, buy food. But you're in business for another reason. And that reason is you solve problems. Colleen, people come to you to solve what problem?
Clogged rain gutters.
Clogged rain gutters. So if a person doesn't have a rain gutter, she can solve my problem. She's going to be addressing people that have that specific problem. So when you start a business, you have to be thinking about this. What problem do I solve? And that's the first question I'd like to have you take up. Let's take about a minute. Think about this. What problem do you solve? Now you'll notice as we do this, I like to work in 3s. I've asked you first to list the problem you solve, but then I also ask you, okay, that's the main problem you believe you solve. There's got to be 2 more problems. So let's take about 45 seconds to list what 3 problems do you solve? Thinking about what problems do you solve, and your next thought is, who has that problem? As you mentioned earlier with Colleen, if you don't have a rain gutter, you're not solving a problem. So who has that problem that you solve? Let's take about another 45 seconds here and just list who. Maybe it's a business, maybe it's an organization, it's a general description, but who has that problem?
I jumped ahead of you, Gary, sorry. Bad habit.
You thought you were coming just for a peaceful lunch, or you're going to hear somebody talking. I'm asking you to work.
What kind of presentation is this?
Yeah, what kind of presentation is this? I'm asking you to work. But being in business and solving problems is
Working.
you have to
It's
work at
fun.
it. You're going to be successful at it, and you got to have fun. Yes. And since Balbino just ahead of me, I'm going to ask him, Balbino, what problem you solve, and who might have that
I'm not
problem?
Balbino, I'm Mark.
I'm sorry.
I know who you're thinking of. We look alike.
I'm sorry.
You're not the first or last.
Okay. Mark, tell me. Okay. You do your presentation. I'm a Toastmaster. I like to encourage people to stand up. Join me right here.
I'm sitting.
Mark, I apologize for getting a break on the
Okay. Okay, Dave.
Okay, excellent. That's okay, excellent. Tell us just briefly what problem you solve and who has that problem.
I help people resolve their conflicts. It could be individual to individual, it could be families, it could be businesses, business partners.
So you help people resolve conflicts. You've got a broad thing.
Right.
Who might have that?
Everybody. Everybody has a conflict. Sometimes they want help solve it.
Okay. So you know what he does. So he's saying to me, everyone is my potential customer.
Correct.
Now, Jerry, do you believe that? No. We're going to work on that one.
That's okay.
Hey, but thank you. Give him a round. Give him a round of applause. Thank you. It's not easy. You just called him by the wrong name all of a sudden and asked to speak. And he's very gracious. Thank you. Now, the next part. We're in our business. We say, all right, we know what problems we solve. We also look at that and say, we know who has that problem. We might look at that and say, almost everyone in the world. When I first went into business preparing income tax, I thought, who is my customer? Everybody that files a tax return. Well, it turned out that wasn't really quite true.
It should be.
It wasn't quite true. So I had to narrow my focus. As you're working on your focus here, and number 3, let's think about competition. Chances are you're not the only person solving this problems. You're not the only person in this line of work. And you have competition. You have to know who your competition is, and what do you and the competition do that's similar. It's another thinking problem. Let's take a good full minute here to write down what do you do that your competition does that's similar. one thing when I have an accounting practice, when we talk with think about what did we do that was similar to what our clients, to what our competition did. Someone came to me, had their tax return prepared. We prepared the return. We delivered to them a Form 1040, typically, or 1120 corporate return. So many pages, government issue. Our 1040 looked like everyone else's 1040. We prepared a financial statement. If we prepared a financial statement for T-Bird, whether he picked up that financial statement from my company or from a competitor, it looked the same. It was on white paper. It had a cover sheet. It had so many pages with numbers on it. It all looked the same. There was no distinction. We had year-round practices. We were all similar. So we work on this, why should he write me a check versus one of my competitors a check? We were similar. I don't recall it. Michael, would you mind to tell us briefly the business you're in and possibly what you and your competitors do is similar? If I were your customer, what would it look like?
Well, I'm kind of flying off the cuff here because I'm thinking of something new that I started up, which is a company called Solar. It's a cell phone provider service, just like AT&T and Sprint. And what was the balance for the rest of it?
Oh, question. What would be similar if I were going to buy a cell phone service from you, and I'm trying to say, you got to buy from Verizon, Sprint, from you, and you all probably look similar.
Yeah. So everybody offers cell phone service. Everybody offers a variety of plans. Everybody offers a variety of the actual cell phone itself.
Okay, so you all look similar in that regard. Thank you. See, Michael, is that correct?
Yes.
Michael, thank you so much. One more person. You can do it, please.
As I said, I am in the financial services market. 3 things that I offer better than anybody else.
Not better, similar.
Oh, similar?
Similar.
But with one edge?
Not yet.
Oh, okay.
You
Okay,
get
I'm
this
sorry.
My fault.
No, similar. If I'm going to buy financial services from you or Principal or there's a whole slew of them. What do you all look similar? I mean, what's similar?
Everything. Let's see. Mine are better.
Thank you. You got caught there. But you have to know what your competition is doing that you're doing, because you're going to look similar.
Well, I can come down.
You can come down?
Yeah, and then
We try again?
Oh, welcome back.
All right.
Yeah! Woo!
Hey. Similar now.
Yeah.
Similar.
we provide life insurance for people. We provide high yield investments for common people. And we provide legal protection for people.
Hey, thank you. There, he did it.
Yeah! Good
That's
job.
Good. And I have to commend you. Your first name again is?
Guillermo.
Guillermo?
Guillermo.
I will have a trouble, but I will work on that.
Oh, no.
Guillermo. This is wonderful, because most people, if they stand up and suddenly find out they're a little off track in a group of strangers, first time you've been here, they're going to sit down and they're not going to pop up again. He said, wait a minute, I can do this. So very good.
Nice.
Commend you. Nice recovery.
That was very nice.
That was excellent. Excellent. So it's worth recognizing.
Thank you.
Recognizing. Yes. So we've looked at this. We look similar. We looked at our yellow page ads, like in accounting. They all look the same. And what's that compelling reason for someone to call and phone me versus someone else? I'll get to T-Bird in a minute. I'll get to T-Bird in a moment. There we go. But now, this next part. The next part, we begin to work on this answer, why you? Number 4. List 3 things that you believe only you provide to your customers. Now that's what we want to know. What 3 things only you provide? Now that doesn't mean somebody in New York might not be doing it, or Fresno might not be doing it, but to your knowledge, in the area you're working in, you're the only one doing it. So we're looking for this uniqueness. Oh, now I'm really making you work. Let's take a full minute, because this is well worth thinking about. What's unique about me and my service? This is a little more challenging, isn't it? Come up with that uniqueness. Now, I don't know you. I'm here, McKinsey.
Diane Hinckley.
Diane Hinckley. Please meet you, Diane. Diane, now, this isn't your first time here, correct?
No.
You've been here before. Hey, Diane, tell us briefly the problem you solved. You have to stand here and put you on the spot.
No problem. It's good practice.
Okay, Diane.
Yes.
Diane Hinckley's going to talk with us about what problem she solves, just briefly, what problem do you or your business solve?
My problem that I solve is I teach people money management skills, how to manage their everyday money spending.
Okay, and
skills.
you might have that problem.
Oh, darn. The list goes on. But I narrow it down to entrepreneurs that are looking to separate their business books from their house books and how to manage their funds separately and as a goal. So
I'm applauding because this is a big audit issue and IRS is auditing. They've got their personal and business combined. I think we'll disallow all their deductions.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
So very good.
Big job.
Now, probably everybody can already jump ahead of you and say, we suspect we know what's similar. But tell me what makes you unique. Why should I write you a check?
The reason you should write me a check is because, number one, I'm going to be personable and real. Unfortunately, we're getting to the ugly, but we also get into the beauty of building up these skills so that you have hope of getting out of whatever situation or obtaining whatever goals you plan to achieve.
Diane, would you mind if we coached you a little bit?
Sure.
Are you open to that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. You just heard her talk about what's unique. Now I'm asking you, does that sound unique, or is that what you would expect from anyone in her profession?
Good point.
Anyone in my profession.
I would
What would be
expect.
unique?
We're looking for that unique. What makes you different?
I think it would be the compassion and the persistence that I'm going to stay with the client and I'm going to follow through and support them all the way to the end of achieving what they set out to do.
Okay, I ask you. You said compassion.
Maybe.
Okay, I kind of expect compassion. Oh, but the magic word was
Persistence.
persistence, which says to me, in my world, accountability.
Right.
Now, okay, persistence, now that I think might be unique. That's something I wouldn't want. I don't want you to just say, Gary, you should go do this. I probably already know I should go do it. I want you to call me up and say,
Follow up and support.
do it, follow up and support. And you're going to follow up and support for how long?
Well, the entire time. Well, until they achieve their goals.
Uniqueness, persistence, accountability,
Follow up and support.
follow up and support until you achieve your goal. Not achieving your goal, achieving my goal.
Can I put her on the spot?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely, put her on the spot.
Gina loves
That's
me.
awesome.
She volunteered to stand up here with me in front of the camera.
So
She is
one
on
of the other
spot.
unique things about Diane that you may not know is that she's maybe been through a little bit of this hardship. So from that perspective, she can help you because she knows and she can relate to all the struggles that we've had over this recession. And she will bring you back to life in your financial goals.
Would you type that up and email me?
We're on point
Watch the
again.
video when it comes online.
We're on point.
Yes.
Diane can say things. I can listen and I might nod my head. The little voice in the back might say, "Was that really true?" And then you have a disinterested third party that says, let me tell you something about Diane. Whoa! Didn't that just elevate? Didn't that just add tremendous credibility?
You're right.
And
Yes.
not only do I encourage you to accept her offer, to write it up, I'm going to accept your ask her.
Oh, Dina. Would you like to give a testimony or an endorsement on YouTube for me?
Whoa!
Bribe you?
Taking advantage of the situation. That's nice, Gary.
Will I have to bribe
Gotta
you?
do this. You notice I'm a guerrilla marketer also.
Yeah, guerrilla
Grab
marketer.
that opportunity. There it is. Very good. Hey, thank you so much, and thank you for letting us put you
Not
on
a
the
problem.
spot right
Not a problem.
there. Would one other individual like to tell us about what is unique about their business?
You have a cool. Yeah, come on.
Right here.
We've seen what you're doing. Talk about it.
Well, I wear several hats.
We're only going to talk about one.
Okay, well, then one. The hat I'm gonna pick is a steam cake.
And your name is?
Garnett Martin.
Garnett Martin. Garnett, tell us about this
Steam cake.
steam cake. All right, she's already got my.
It's a very small company that is writing games that you play on an iPhone. And the idea is it's taking the old games we grew up with, hide and seek, capture the flag, and it's putting them into technology because that's where our kids are. The idea and the vision of the company is to get the kids back outside with fresh air. They're not going to do it unless they have an electronic device with them because that's where our kids are. I am helping them market their company to try to get known and so we can go after some advertising dollars. Since last week, we have 259
I'll
miles.
stop you right here just for a moment.
Where'd you go?
You're getting
Too
dry.
big?
We want to talk about what is unique. Now, we should listen to that. What did she tell you that strikes you as unique? Out in the open air. We're hearing a lot about that. Now, the uniqueness is, I heard, well, before I tell you what I heard, more uniqueness. What else did you hear?
She's going to bring back to life some games that we know from our past. And that's huge nowadays because kids have forgotten what it's like to have real fun. They don't have fun. They have fun with an iPhone, but that's not the same kind of fun that we have.
And for marketing, she is going to be touching who? She's going to be touching grandma and grandpa, mom and dad. We're going to just say, oh,
Yeah.
we're not going to talk about touching an 8-year-old who doesn't remember it.
Sorry.
Mom and dad. We can get involved. And another uniqueness is you're going to be using electronics.
Which they're all attached to.
They're attached. It's attached.
It's going to help them play the game, get them outdoors.
Okay.
And the texting they love is going to become a feature of the game also.
Now she says, I'll tell you a question that she's got to answer. This would be the question in my mind. We'll see if we can answer that. you've got a game, you've got a device, they're looking at it. What causes them to say, well, I want to take my game and my device outside and jump up and down, as opposed to saying, this is pretty cool, I'm going to start right here and do this. Where's that motivation?
Well, the motivation is, even though there are games we're familiar with, is most of our kids nowadays are into the video. They're attacking somebody or
We know that.
doing something.
Tell us
So
that.
this is going to be something they'll interact with outside with, like if you're playing the game with me and we're playing freeze tag or something, I can freeze you from being able to see me. It's all GPS.
Oh, okay.
So that you can't find me to tag me. So they're going to have the same things they do in front of the computer that they're going to get to do outside and do it to their friends.
I think she's got something really unique there. I encourage you to really work on getting that focus, because just as we hear about children have short attention spans, we do too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So get that focus. So we've got ping, ping, ping. Very good. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
For your uniqueness. Very good. Very good. We run back right here. Thank you. It's right there. Thank you so much. Now we talked about uniqueness. And uniqueness is nice, but now, I'm really going to make you think. Benefits. People are going to buy benefits. What's the benefit of my purchasing your unique service? What's the benefit? We want to be able to talk in terms of benefits. That's what's going to cause people to say, oh, I want to write you a check. Let's think about a minute. And listen, the benefits of buying from you, taking advantage of your unique product. How's it going to make my life better? You've just listed your uniqueness, you've listed the benefits. Now I'm going to ask you to turn to the back page, the promise page. Now on the promise page, just take 45 seconds and just list what you're going to continue to do or you're going to do differently as a result of today's program. What are you going to do differently? Or maybe what are you going to continue to do that's been working? What do you promise that you're going to do? 45 seconds. You'll notice while you're writing, I just laid an envelope on your desk. What I'm going to ask you to do is, this will be a self-addressed envelope. Write your name and your return address, as if you're mailing this to yourself.
Where's the stamp? Jerry.
I'll provide the stamp later. After you have it addressed, I'm going to ask you to take this promise page and tear it off. Fold it up. Put it into the envelope. Seal the envelope. Cover this envelope, promise page inside, seal the envelope. Why am I asking you to do this? Jerry's thinking that right this minute. Gary, why are you wanting me to do this? And you didn't give me a stamp. I'm asking you to do this because I'm aware that life gets in the way. Life happens. So at the moment, with your permission, I'm going to pick those envelopes up from you, and I will mail them back to you in 30 days. As a reminder of our time here today, as a reminder of the promise that you made to yourself. Again, if I ask you to seal it because it's private. I'll mail it back so we get that touch. Here's the promise I made. And the beauty is, you'll have just completed 3 or 4 sections on how to use social media. Ideally, you'll be able to look at that and say, I can see how I'm using this, my message with social media, so that more and more people are going to say, yes, I want to write you a check to solve my problem. So I'll come around and pick those up in just a moment. I'll start over here. Thank you. Thank you. Jerry's got his. Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. Let me go ahead and in closing, again, I'll pick these up after I close. In closing, I want to thank you for allowing me to come and share your lunch hour with you, talk with you about what can you do to help promote your business. What's that uniqueness about you that's unique and will cause people to want to write you a check. Elias, I thank you so much for inviting me to come and speak to the organization. And ideally, I would love to be invited back.
Oh, you're welcome anytime. Give Gary a big round